name's Natalie and I'm a yoga instructor, and I'm going to teach you a few nice stretches to do after a long run, just to alleviate those aches and pains in your muscles, especially in the lower half. So let's get started. To start off in downward facing dog, placing your hands just shoulder width apart, really pressing firmly down onto the palms, fingers spread wide, and we'll just push up the hips towards the sky. We'll bend through the knees, so really tilting that tailbone up towards the sky, drawing your stomach in, drawing your biceps towards the front of the room, the triceps the back, hollowing of the underarms, let your forehead hang down towards the ground. Your next exhale, so you can sink your heels down towards the ground, keeping the tailbone tucked towards the sky, a nice stretch in the back of the hamstrings and the calves. And then on your next inhale, bring your left knee in towards your chest and step your left foot in between the hands, back knee down to the floor for your low lunge. So here you can walk your back knee close towards the back of the mat, you can untuck your back toes, lift the chest up towards the sky. See if you can sink in towards that right hip flexor a little more. So every inhale we're lengthening, every exhale can you soften deeper into that hip flexor. Tucking the back toes under, we're going to straighten through that left leg to come to your half splits. Really drawing belly button in towards your spine to create space, lift the chest. Crown of the head's long. Now to draw your left toes towards you. Then we exhale so you can sink a little lower. And then we'll come all the way back to your low lunge. Bending into that front knee, sinking that right hip flexor back down towards the mat. Crown of the head's long, shoulders are away from your ears. And placing your right hand down to the floor, we're going to bend it into that back knee. Left hand comes over to grab the outside edge of your foot. See if you can sink lower into that front knee. Relax the right foot so that your quad's not engaged. See if you can soften even more. So you can bring that heel towards your glute. Maybe twist the upper back as well. And then we'll release. Bringing both hands to the inside of your left foot. We'll come up into your Skandasana. So bending into that front knee, bending into the left knee, right leg's out straight, really drawing those right toes towards you. So you can keep your heel onto the floor and bring your hands into heart prayer and sink lower into your left knee even, really drawing the sit bones towards the ground. Or you can bring your hands behind, fingertips pointing towards the side of the room as you sink lower into your sit bones. Really flexing through those right feet, crown of the head long, chest is proud. And turn to the front of the mat, both hands to the inside of your left foot. Shimmy that left foot to the outside edge of your mat, and then we'll just drop that left knee, the right knee even, down to the floor. Create some hip movements here. And stay here, we can come down onto your forearms for your lizard. You can untuck or tuck the back toes. And then if you want to go even further, you come onto the outside edge of your left foot, opening up through the hips. Keep breathing in through the nose and exhaling through the nose, see if you can soften. Both hands down onto the floor. We'll just shimmy that left foot all the way to behind that right hand or come into your pigeon. So here you can either bring the heel closer towards the hip or further out towards parallel to the top of your mat. Inhale, let's lengthen. Exhale, soften all the way down to the ground, making sure that your right leg is in one straight line all the way down to your toes. Coming down to your forearms, Placing your forehead down to the ground. See if you can stretch, flex through even that left foot. Just sink lower. Continue to breathe. Equal weight on both hip joints. So you're still trying to draw that right hip down onto the ground to open up through that left glute a little more. You soften through the shoulders, maybe soften through the jaw. And then we'll come all the way back up, hands onto the mat, and we'll just push back to downward facing dog. So tucking through the back toes, just drawing that left leg to the back of the mat. Let's walk out the dog a little bit. That left leg might feel a little dead from that. One knee bending at a time as the opposite heel tries to draw towards the ground. Pressing firmly down with your hands as if you're trying to draw your chest towards your shins. And then we'll come to stillness. Bending through the knees again, tilting the tailbone up towards the sky. This time I'm bringing the right knee to the chest and step it through. Back knee down to the floor for your low lunge. Inhale, let's lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale, let's soften into that left hip flexor this time. See if you can bend deeper into that front knee, lift the torso high. And again, just breathe into this posture. Really nice stretch of the left hip flexor, the left hip joint. You can create some movement here. And then we'll tuck through the left toes, straighten out through that right leg, sinking down into the left heel as you draw your right toes towards you, so really flexing those toes. Again, draw the navel into spine to create space. You draw your chest towards your shins. And as you exhale, you're going to soften down towards your leg. Again, try to keep that right kneecap lifted, toes are engaged. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let's soften. And we'll come back in to your low lunge. This time, left hand down. Bring the right arm all the way behind. Bend through that left foot and catch the outside edge of that foot. See if you can sink a little lower into that front knee. Draw that left hip flexor further towards the ground. You can draw your heel closer towards your glute. Let that left foot relax so that you're not tensing through the left quad. You can twist your upper body a little bit more as well. Get a nice back twist as well. And then releasing gently. Both hands come down inside of that right foot even, and we'll come to your skandasana on this side. So keeping that right knee bent towards the front of the mat, lifting those left toes towards you as you sink your hips low towards the ground. Again, sorry, my back's to you, but you bring your hands either to heart center, or you can bring them again underneath your sit bones and sit your sit bones lower. So your fingers are pointing towards the side of the room. Will you draw those left toes towards you, sink lower into that front knee. And both hands come to the top of the mat, inside of that right foot again. We'll slog onto the ball of the back foot, bring that right foot out to the outside edge of your mat, and we'll just drop that back knee down for your lizard lunge. Again, here you can create some movement within the hips, and we'll come down onto your forearms. Just really feeling that nice openness in the hips and the hip flexors. And then you can come onto the outside edge of your right foot. Even use your right hand to gently push that right knee away from you as you sink your left hip down towards the ground. You come back into your forearms. Breathe, creating small circular movements just to release the tension within the hips even more. And then bringing the hands down onto the floor, shimmying that right foot behind your left hand placing the shin down to the floor for your pigeon. Again here, making sure that your back leg's out straight in front of you. You can pop a block or a book underneath your right hip if that's not coming down to the ground. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, soften down towards the mat. You're going to try and keep your right foot flexed as you come all the way down onto your forearms. Again here, just use your breath to see if you can sink deeper into this pose. Really feel the stretch in your right glute. See if you can place a little more weight into your left hip. That will open up through the left glute even more. Again, continue breathing into the stretch. And we'll come up, placing both hands down onto the floor, tucking through the back toes, and we'll push back up to downward facing dog. Bending through the knees, lifting the tailbone high, let the head hang heavy. Fingers are spread wide, pressure on your index and your thumb. Sinking the heels down towards the ground. And let's step to the front of the mat, to your forward fold. Here your forward fold, bending through the knees again, stomach touches the thigh, let your head hang heavy. Let's bring that left foot in front of the right, all the way over so that your pinky toes touch. Have a bend through that front knee, so that right leg is completely straight, the left leg is bent. Bring your left hand down to the floor and lift your right arm up towards the sky. So placing all your weight into that right leg straight, bending through that left knee. You should feel a nice stretch all the way up towards your hips, in your glutes, your IT band. Really lengthening through the right hand. And place both hands down onto the floor. Release that left foot down to the mat, and we'll just swap sides. So then we'll bring that right foot over, bending through that right leg. Right hand placed down onto the ground, really straighten out through that left leg as you lift that left arm up towards the sky. And again, most of the weight's in that left foot. You can twist a little deeper, reach a little higher. Bend that right knee a little bit more as you stretch. And then both hands down onto the floor. Bring both feet parallel. Let's just sit all the way down onto our backs. A couple of final stretches here on our backs. Let's bring our right leg over our left so that both our right knees stack on top of our left. And then just draw your knees towards your chest and see if you can grab the outside edges of your feet. So coming underneath your feet. Flexing both feet. Draw your elbows towards the ground. So you draw your knees towards your chest and your feet towards your elbows as well. Just feel a nice stretch in especially the right hip, the right glute. Keep the feet flexed. Keep the head down on the floor, but tuck your chin to your chest. And then we'll release. Should really feel it on the inside of your right glute. So we'll do the other side, bringing our left knee on top of our right, and then bringing knees towards towards your chest even. And then coming underneath the feet, grabbing the outside edge, and see if you can draw your elbows towards the ground again. Feet are flexed. This time it's the left glute especially that this is getting into. So you can pull your feet apart as well and draw them closer towards the ground. Draw your knees closer towards your chest, elbows facing the ground. And then we'll return to neutral. Last one would be happy baby, so bringing those soles of the feet towards the sky, bringing your hands in between your knees and catching the outside of your feet. Really flexing the feet again, so your toes are trying to draw towards the ground. Keeping your head down on the ground, tucking your chin to your chest. Really drawing those knees closer towards your armpits, towards the ground. Heels stacked on top of your knees. And then try to untuck your tailbone, so try to tilt your bum down towards the ground. You're creating one straight line all the way from your tailbone to the crown of your head. There we go. And then really draw your knees closer towards the ground as you draw your tailbone down as well. Nice release in the inner thighs, hip flexors. And then on your next inhale, to bring the soles of the feet together. And then just draw them down towards the ground. Let your knees hang wide. Create some movement here. Bring your knees together, we'll just come up to a seated position and we're done. So if you just go through those a couple of times, or maybe just spend a little bit more time on each stretch, you'll feel different in different sides of the body, everyone will feel different as well. So I hope those help and see you again soon.